the draft is coming up. What have you heard? Is Cam Ward's going number one? Is that your opinion?
I'm still not totally sold on that.
Ooh, okay.
Just and I know I'm going back here, and we've gotten a lot since, but I go back to the Titans GM coming out at the very beginning of the offseason and saying, like, we won't pass on a generational talent. And I don't know that Abdul Carter is necessarily generational talent. Travis Hunter is, because of sort of the uniqueness of who he is as a prospect, but those guys are so clearly above and beyond in this class, even when you factor in the value of the quarterback position. So I still think the Titans can do anything. And this week will tell us a lot. Let's see if they get a veteran quarterback or not. But, could they take Cam Ward? Yeah. I don't think anything would surprise me at this point.
Okay, so if just say Cam Ward, say Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter off the board at 4.
Yeah.
Is there a player that you feel could be a blue chip player? Because there is a player that some people think that there's a third that could be in the mix that maybe you take a chance at 4. Do you have that thought?
I think there's some potential blue chip players, like not at premium positions. Will Campbell at guard, Ashton Genty at running back. I don't know if you're asking about Armand Membu.
I'm talking about Jalen Walker. Like, a lot of people think Jalen Walker, that he's a little undersized, but with his freakish athleticism, you take him and, it's basically a lottery ticket. If this kid hits, he could be a blue chip prospect. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think both Georgia guys, him and Mykel Williams, kind of fit that, where they're a little more raw. Walker, the other thing with his size, he only has 1 year of full-time starting experience. He was a rotational player before that, but they both have immense upside. And Walker in particular is unique to the Patriots for me. And I wrote about this on 98.5thesportshub.com. He's the fact that he can do so many different things. He can play off the ball, stop the run, cover, rush the passer, all that. He's not somebody you're necessarily going to draft and plug into a role that already exists in your defense. If that role exists in your defense, you have a really good linebacker that's doing that stuff, like a Fred Warner. So you're going to have to create a role for him. For a team like the Patriots that's kind of building its defense up from scratch, that's the exact kind of player you're looking for, because you're going to be able to build everything truly around him. So he is somebody I would say the Patriots should be a little higher on than the average, because I think he fits really well what they're trying to do right now.
All right. Any thoughts about the Patriots moving out of that pick? Do you envision a scenario where, because there's so much up in the air, and this is the thing, Barth, for a draft that doesn't have a clear cut 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Everything's in play. So is there I guess any real conversation about the Pats not actually selecting at 4?
Everything's in play is a great way to put it. I think a trade down would be great. The only problem is it's a limited draft, right? Who's moving up? What player team's moving up for? Are you going to get the return that you feel like is worth it to move back? I think, there's a group of players that are going to go, assuming Hunter and Carter off the board, 4 to 12. That all kind of grade out similarly. And it's sort of just, what do you want, position-wise, age-wise, athleticism-wise. So moving down would be a great opportunity if it's there. I think what the Patriots are probably hoping for is one of those quarterbacks gets to 4 and a team a little further down gets the itch and decides they need to move up and take them, especially jumping, where the Jets are at 7, because it looks like the Raiders have their quarterback. We know the Jags do. So that's the best case scenario. But again, what are you really going to get what it's worth, or close to what it's worth, in a draft where there's not a ton of incentive to move up, because it's probably not that one player teams are chasing.
Well, suppose it is a player that some team falls in love with at 4. Oh, we have to get this guy. What's the farthest you think the Patriots can afford to drop down, based on what you just told us? There's a cutoff point where the talent kind of drops off a table. What's the farthest you'd like to see the Patriots drop down?
Well, it depends what you're getting. If they're going to get a future first, mid-teens, late teens, to have 2 first-round picks next year, I'll move down a good chunk in this draft. Short of that, if you're going to get, a second-round pick and maybe a day 3 pick or something like that, or a second-round pick and a future day 2 pick, I wouldn't go too far past 10. I'd try to stay in that top 10, just because, again, I think the next drop off in the group of players probably comes around that 11th or 12th pick. So depending on how many quarterbacks there are going, I wouldn't move out of the top 10 unless somebody really makes it worth your while. But I'd be open to that. If you're going to get a massive haul, I'd be open to a significant move back.
Is there a chance Shedeur Sanders isn't the second quarterback taken?
I don't know. I don't believe the Jackson Dart hype as much as other people do. Like, I just don't see it with him. And I don't know who else it would be. In theory, yes. I don't think teams love him maybe as much as he's being put out there right now. But I also don't know what the alternative is, which makes it really hard to say no. So I guess, maybe the Jackson Dart thing is real, and he's probably the guy that would push it. But if it would be more to me Sanders falling than Dart rising. Like if Sanders
like it could be a combination. Like do you think that it's possible? And I don't know anything about Jackson Dart at all, except that that he might move into the first round. Some people are saying, but it would be like, Shedeur Sanders falls, and then you're getting into like the late teens, early 20s, and a team just has Jackson Dart higher on their board than they do Shedeur Sanders. Like, I'm not saying like, Jackson Dart gets taken 6th in the draft or something,
Yeah, I don't know why that's where my mind went, but yeah, if some of the, concerns that have been reported about Sanders in the meetings are true, those hold a lot of weight, especially for quarterbacks where mental makeup is so important at the position. Then he might fall. And if could a team take a late first round flyer on Jackson Dart? Certainly seems like it. And if Sanders is going to fall like outside of the top 20, then I would say it would become a conversation.
All right. Well, listen, it's very interesting. And Alex, you're going to have all the free agent tracking going up on offseason.985thesportshub.com. You're going to be up all day. You're going to be up all night. This is going to be a very busy 24 hours for you.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.